Nigers today. I'm Sheriff Quadry.
And I'm Jimi. Disu. Good morning.
Let's dive in right now into the papers. By the way, you can watch live on Facebook and on YouTube. Nigeria Info 99.3 is how you can watch us live on those two platforms. We have loads of papers here. We're going to start with page 18 of the Punch newspaper, Pandora Papers and Nigeria's hidden wealth.
Well, you've all heard about the Pandora Papers and what's happening to it. But so the Punch has an editorial here that I implore you to read, should you find the time. Let's start with some of the things that come out of the editorial that probably you haven't paid attention to.
Right.
It says that Nigeria is not left out of the names. You know, it has Tony Blair, it has so many names abroad. Professor President Kenyatta, Dubai ruler Mohammed Ibn Rashid Al Maktoum, and Congolese President Ali Bongo. In that group, you have a number of Nigerians, and some of them, as reported by Premium Times, are a former governor of Anambra State, Peter Obi, who has been singing all kind of tonic sulfurs, trying to explain, his position on that. He's done D minor, he's done B major, all kinds of singing like a canary. There's a former, and then a senator and former aviation minister, Stella Odua. The figures we have there are mind-boggling. The number of houses, about 6-7 houses in the UK or something like that. The acting managing director of the Nigerian Post Authority, Mohammed Bello Koko. Of course, there's a famous one of Governor Boyega Oyetola of Osun State that involves where the Jagaban stayed. By the way, the Jagaban is back in town. We welcome him and wish him well. And also you have his Kebbi State counterpart, Atiku Bagudu. They have all denied any wrongdoing. What we expect, though, is the EFCC to quickly wade into this. Because it might appear that our public funds might be at stake. We expect the government to wade into it very quickly and come out with a resolution. But the point argues that whilst it is not a crime for private individuals to set up offshore companies, Nigeria's law forbids public officials from doing so. This is where the EFCC should come in. Okay? According to Transparency International, the failure of the President, Buhari, to act over past disclosures like the Panama Papers has deepened the culture of impunity. That's deepened the culture of impunity. The paper now goes to say, that is the Punch. I'm skipping quite a bit of it. It says, corruption is a key threat to good governance, democratic processes, and fair business competition. To curb corruption, asset declaration should be subject to public scrutiny to boost transparency. And so on and so forth. It says the Buhari regime, which claims to be fighting corruption, sees nothing wrong in this defective status quo and has even failed to send a bill to the parliament to address this anomaly, explains why the whistle-blowing policy is failing. This is a very interesting chapter, which is where I will end. It says, so far, only Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State has publicly declared his assets worth nearly 50 billion with a specific breakdown. Seyi Makinde, 50 billion with a specific breakdown. Both Buhari and the Vice President, Jimi Ashibaju, only provided sketchy details of their assets to the public in 2015 after public pressure. In 2019, upon re-election, the president's handlers arrogantly stated that there was no law mandating him to do so and refused to publicize his assets. For a man who rose to power on the back of accountability, this is deeply disappointing. In the absence of any enabling law that compels public officers to declare their assets publicly, civil society organizations should continue to push them to do so. SEDAP has been doing this and even instituted court cases against them. What we have in this country generally is a facade. You're fighting corruption when people are not well remunerated. You're fighting corruption when you close your eyes to those that are quite glaring. There are some corruption issues that are glaring. Everybody knows. Government assets being, everybody knows government assets being converted to private property and stuff like that. You can see it. It is there, brazen in your eyes, and you do nothing. I wish Nigeria well. There's nothing else to say. We'll continue to do these things day in, day out, because we are mandated to do so. That is the job we are paid to do. But until we get that conscience, until we are ready to fight this hydra-headed monster, we are not going anywhere.
Do you think we'll ever be ready?
We won't. The kind of people that we are, just this morning I was thinking, Funke Igbemode, who is a commissioner in Osun State, we get the papers, was talking about, the increase in incest and so on and so forth. Another story talking about how we treat people with mental challenges. We are queer people. I don't know where God made us from, because our neighbors next door are completely different from us. There's something queer about us. This mad, massive desire to mass up all kinds of things in figures and whatever. I begin to ask myself, some of the people I see and what they have declared that they have, I don't have what you would call a grain of sand compared to a bathtub load of sand that they have. But I get by. I'm comfortable. I don't know where this madness comes from. One minister, I think the people said, had about 6 or 7 or 8 houses in the UK. What for? How many things are you going to have? So we will never, because the religious leaders have even made it worse. They are the worst examples you can find of exhibition of wealth. What is a GO of a church, for example, doing with a 60 million naira vehicle? And you're a full-time GO of that church. Or it was given to me. If it was given to you, can't you convert it to cash and donate it to the church and live a humble life? Oh no, we must show people that God has blessed us. I see. So those the volume of Nigerians who appear to be poor appear, because for me, wealth is in the mind, Sheriff. Wealth is in the mind. When you can wake up, you can have your bath, go about your lawful duty, come back home, sleep peacefully overnight. A lot of these people who have these things can't even sleep a wink. They can't sleep a wink. Go find out. But that is the way we are. There's this kurukere mad desire to acquire everything in sight. We want to acquire all the women, we want to acquire all the money, we want to acquire everything. So we'll keep going doing this until God punishes us further. That's what I think. I'm sorry I'm being harsh this morning, but when God punishes us further and our backs are against the wall, then maybe we will do something. And we are getting close to it.
Yeah, we are. We're almost there. Vanguard
you reckon?
Yeah, we're almost there.
Adibe.
To go to Sumogo. Let's take the Vanguard. Let's go to page 5 of the Vanguard.
Yes.
Naira value. Experts kick as Osinbajo seeks play of market forces. It's right. It's in this inside page of page 5.
When I saw the word play there, I have a very vivid imagination. I wanted to say that, look, I have a feeling that even those who are running this country don't know exactly what is wrong and what to do, how to get us out of this economic whatever that we are in. I've been hearing about Naira being overvalued since I started my full-time career in journalism in 82. In the days of the footballer, that was the boogie that the IMF and the World Bank sold to us. At that time, they said, at 1-to-1 parity, so what did we do? We devalued. We went from 4 to 1. Now we are on 400 and, what are we now? 400 and whatever it is. Excuse me, and it is still undervalued. Being said by our own people. But let me tell you something. I'd like, in this analysis, I like to look at the play of words. The vice president is a professor of law. I know him very well. I was in primary school and university with him, so he knows the implication of words. But listen to what he says here, and I'll pick on a word that frightened me. He says, we can't get new dollars into the system where the exchange rate is artificially low. And everyone knows by now how much our reserves can grow. I'm convinced that the demand management strategy currently being adopted by the CBN needs a rethink. And that is just my view. Excuse me. This is the vice president.
Yeah.
So he's talking about his personal view. And that he thinks that it needs a rethink.
Do you think he was saying that the CBN governor is incapable of handling what's going on.
Wait, Musuru now.
Okay, sir.
Why do you always like to
Sorry,
jump?
sir.
This is one of the
Sorry.
reasons why
Sorry.
we'll not
Sorry, sir.
go and face the corner. Now, listen to this. Oh. We can't get new dollars into the system where the exchange rate is at. That's just my view. So it says, anyway, all these are issues that when the CBN governor has the time to address, he'll be able to address in full. Let me repeat what the vice president said. Professor of law, watch his language. When the CBN governor has the time, from his busy schedule, he will be able to address in full. It says that the Naira is changing for $1 at 411 at the official side of the market, and the same goes for 565 at the parallel market as at yesterday. That is what the... Now, he also says that he suggested that the CBN is competing with the fiscal side of the economy, which includes ministries, departments, and... Going to what you said, I think a lot of people, including the CBN governor, is beginning to perceive that you can get from his body language and the rush of support that's coming to him. We know this game. People giving support. I think a lot of people are beginning to feel uncomfortable that maybe this man is not too capable for that position. And when I saw a video clip where he was talking about Aboki FX, I tried so hard to put it in logical perspective. That, so because a man publishes rates every day, you're going to accuse him of manipulating the rates. And when he now said something to the effect that I challenge him to come and meet me here, let us fight, in that kind of language, I shook my head. It's a big. It showed that.
Shouldn't you be proud of
that action? That action alone showed a lack of maturity on the part of
somebody's trying to defend our economy.
Who is that?
That's what he's trying to say.
No, because wait.
Even if it gets to me taking off my shoes and my tie.
Close your eyes and raise your hands.
Sorry, sir.
The man was accusing Aboki FX. Okay, so Aboki has stopped publishing. One, all newspapers carry the black market rates on a daily basis like Aboki does. You didn't accuse them. Now, you have Aboki FX now has stopped publishing and the rates are still going up. So who do you accuse next?
Yeah, it's a big question.
I think the man himself is rattled because either of two things. Either he doesn't know what to do, or he knows what to do, but he doesn't have the muscle to do it. There are some parts that are pinning him down. A lot of us have known right from the time when I was in HSC that there are some powers that play with our foreign exchange, with the issues. There are loads of people that make money off this thing. In fact, there was a one-time Inspector General that was accused of being a big player when he was IG in this country. It didn't just start today. And for as long as you have a CBN governor who would, I'm not saying this one is, but for as long as there's a CBN who cannot take the bull by the horns and challenge these people that are putting us down, we'll continue to have what we have.
When he made that comment that day that he was ready to fight, come and face me.
Come on.
And, I spoke with a couple of my financial guys, and they said that what they saw from that video was that a central bank governor who was trying desperately to save his job. Now, with what
his job?
Yes, with what the VP has said now, it's looking like it.
Yeah, because look at that phrase, when he has the time.
Yeah, it's looking like it.
but you see, there's a big problem. The center is not holding too well. There's a big problem. If you have a VP who is saying when the central bank governor has the time, if you
that thing is very heavy.
It's very heavy. I just picked it up this morning. I said, yay! It was as if I was stung by a bee. I picked it and quickly with my marker marked it. So when he has the time. So apparently, it might appear, I'm using the word guardedly, that maybe the presidency and the CBN governor are daggers drawn. Don't forget, don't forget, we've always spoken about the cabal.
Yeah.
There was a photograph where a so-called member of the cabal was sitting in His Majesty, and the CBN governor was bending over talking to him. That photograph read volumes. That's the kind of position I would take if I was speaking to Kabiesi, my Oba. Well, if I was speaking to an Oba,
Right.
like Sikru Adetono. Yes, that's the kind of position you take. Yeah.
We're going to move on. We're streaming live on Facebook. We're also live on YouTube. Nigeria Info 99.3 is how you can watch us live on those platforms. I'm going to take two comments. Raphael says, it's obvious Oshibajo and the Nigerian leadership are clueless about how to move this country forward. Handel says, what I went through at the... Okay, he's talking about something else.
I disagree with this first reaction on the technicality. I don't think they are clueless. I think they don't have the muscle to do it. They're overwhelmed. I think Nigeria has enough mental resources, people who you can put together. Remember that members of the so-called economic team now, they're excusing themselves gradually. I mean, verbally out there, giving suggestions that should have been given to the government, which means that they've been singing all kinds of songs, but nobody wants to hear the music they have to play. And that's because we've been held down. If you have a former oil minister who has jewelry, a loan seized from her, almost up to about 16 billion, I mean, what what are we talking about here? Have you ever imagined, close your eyes and imagine something like, if all Nigeria's resources, okay, let's say 60%, assuming we can't get or can be brought back to this country, and to what good use it can be put into? I don't think people have an idea of when we talk about Nigeria's resources in private hands. I don't think they have an idea of the volume.
I don't think
the volume of money.
I actually even don't think that nobody, can come to a full grasp of what
exactly are we talking about? I don't think we do. But it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. Like Sheriff said, we're inching towards it slowly. Watch out.
We're going to go to the Vanguard, page 4. Let's take this interesting story here. Nigeria must decisively tackle debt challenges, says AFDB's Additional.
Now, Additional is our star boy. He's the president of the World Bank. He's the president of the African Development Bank. I don't know what's wrong with this morning. He was speaking yesterday at some kind of ministerial retreat. And he acknowledged that the debt to GDP ratio, he said Nigeria's debt service to revenue ratio was high.
Yeah.
He said that. He acknowledged that the debt to IGP ratio remained moderate.
It's not IGP.
It's not what?
GDP.
GDP, sorry. Because your hand keeps moving.
Sorry.
Remained moderate, adding that the economic resurgence was possible when Nigeria removed structural bottlenecks that limit revenue earning potential of the non-oil sector. He talked specifically about the ports. And he said something that frightened me. Let me read this. He says, according to the AFDB boss, I got that one right.
Yes, you did.
Nigeria must act quickly to reform its ports, not just scratch the surface with decongestion. Much will depend on the ports of Nigeria. According to the sector operators, the cost of exporting 100 tons of cargo in Nigeria is $35,000. 100 tons of cargo is $35,000 compared to $4,000 in Ghana.
Why? I mean, just why? Why?
Yes.
Why?
He says it's corruption, mainly. He says, today, the leading ports for West Africa are Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, Togo, and Benin Republic. Nigeria has become a pariah state.
Good luck to us.
He says all these countries have modernized their port management systems, leaving Nigeria behind. That is $35,000 compared to $4,000
I'm not going to
in
say
Ghana.
anything again. I'm not going to say anything again.
Well, if you want to say something, let me keep my distance. You're fidgeting.
I'm not going to say anything.
Say no,
I'm upset. I'm really, really upset.
Which one? I know that you played football when you were young, but did you box at all? Because I'm looking at your left.
Yeah, for
Wait,
for some, come now, come. Don't go away. I'm not going to try.
You made a fist with your left hand. I'm not coming. Give me a left uppercut.
But it's quite disheartening because you know why I say this, because it's being said over and over and over again what we need to do to keep our ports working.
You know what is sad compared to other countries is that we have the most human resource, maybe after South Africa.
That's so unfortunate.
We have the greatest human resource. Name it, in the arts, in technology, in business management.
That's so unfortunate.
We have the best. Yet we're lagging behind. Or like my tailor will say,
what is wrong with us, really?
Do you think it's spiritual? No, I'm not joking.
This is not kidding. No kidding.
No, do you think there must look.
Something is really wrong.
Look, I will tell you this. I used to travel a lot to Benin Republic until this Badagry road became whatever it was. Once you go through that border
Idiroko.
As a kid it was through Idiroko, later it was through Seme. Once you go through that border, you get a feel that you're in another country. I will never forget when I was in university and I had to. The Beninois were buying cars from Lagos here.
Yeah.
And when I was in university, my mom's cousins, half of my mom's family are there, and so on and so forth. I had to deliver take a Toyota, to Benin. They were buying from here at Briscoe.
They'll buy from here.
Yes, and take it there. And that was the height of Wanyosi. This is where I'm going. So whilst Nigerians were killing themselves, way back then, trying to wear the latest Wanyosi, the rich guys that I saw in Benin that I stayed with, the big boys I stayed together, they were content to wear Ankara.
Okay.
Do you know I have never seen a nozzle in a car in Benin Republic in all the 40-something years I've been going there. They always sell their fuel in bottles. Yet they go about their. You need to. I don't know about now. I haven't been there for quite a while, but you will easily see the difference. Go anywhere, any airport you go. Once you see a place that has a Nigerian flight or whatever, and what we are some kind of pariah state. We're always giving away back flights to Nigeria with Nigerian Airlines. I always giving one hidden corner so that you can do whatever nonsense you want to do. There is something wrong with us.
Something is fundamentally wrong.
The way we behave, there is something wrong with us. We keep shouting day in, day out, and it now looks as if there's something wrong with you. Can you imagine? Go to Ghana and see. Judge us even by our leaders. Look at the kind of leaders we've produced in the world, whatever, and look at the kind of leaders have we produced.
You know why we're going to this AFCFTA that's coming up now. Come up. We're going to be the biggest losers because companies will not come in here.
They won't come in here.
If you manufacture here and you're trying to get your goods out of the country, you'll probably lose. This is not me discouraging you, or somebody is telling you that it's going to take about $130,000 to ship your goods out.
$33,500.
$33,500
compared to your competitor.
$4,000.
$4,000, and you're headed for the same.
And you are going for the. That's just what it is. You close the borders, the land borders. You want to force everybody to bring things into the country through the port, and look at the amount that you're putting on their table to pay.
I'm watching that left hook. I need to explain to our listeners that you see that Sheriff and I crack up a lot. That's because you don't know the pressure we've gone through putting this program together. And therefore we want to serve it in a manner that you'll be able to get up and go do your daily chores. This country is becoming a complete disaster. And who is going to be... Now 2023 is around the corner. The same worms are coming out of the woodwork. Same set of people. I granted an interview to a TV channel yesterday. And I said, look, Nigerian youth, you have your last chance in 2023. That's where your concentration should be. It's not about protesting now. Forget. Look, you have to pick your fights. What you need to do now is to secure your future, and let's see somebody fresh we can produce in 2023. If you allow these 40 doddies in my generation to continue, it will be business as usual. It will be business as usual. You have guys in their 30s, in their 40s, some have lived abroad for 10, 15 years. Now is the time. If it means forming another party, please do so. Do so. Like I said yesterday to this TV network, the NSAS of that happened 3 years ago, despite all things, shows that the youth can easily mobilize themselves. I saw there's a video on my Instagram.
Yeah.
They started distributing money. People lined up and they were happy. I think they were giving them 2K or something like that.
Okay.
And calling somebody for president. I said, okay, here we go again. If you allow that to happen, you will have yourself to blame. If in 2023 you still pick the same old 40 doddies and business as usual, people like us will retire and go to a farm. At that time, what I will need to survive will be very minimal.
He's right there. He will be in the farm.
It's being the farm. What about medicine?
Baba will have some. About Agbo farm.
Because we definitely need a change in 2023. We can't continue like this. We can't continue like this. Now the same old 40 doddies are leaders of the pack. They're coming out of the woodwork. So you better galvanize yourselves and give yourselves a new lease of life. Instead of wanting to take selfies and being PAs and lining up to collect 2K, 3K, I saw the people were dancing. I said, oh my child. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they are doing.
You know that headline about additional that we took the other time. He says something really vital that I think that very soon the handlers of the president will respond to. He said all this social investment stuff that this government is doing. He said it's not going to take us anywhere.
How can it take you anywhere?
That what the government should do is to invest in entrepreneurial skills development.
One, and secondly, invest very quickly in education so that you can produce a large core of people that can take us to the next level.
And yet we keep voting billions.
Don't forget that the past 20 years we've not done too well in the area of education, all kinds of buying results and this and that.
Yeah.
So our human capital is diminishing.
It is.
So as you're doing that, also you need to invest in the new set of human capital, and that's where I'm glad about some of the new universities that are cropping up.
Right.
A lot of the products in the last 20 years are products of strike. 2 months out of a 9-month tenure, you're supposed to be in school, buying results, sleeping with lecturers, all kinds of things. So those are the two areas we need to look at. But I don't know. Heaven will help us.
I think we can. We'll have to help ourselves first before heaven comes in. Let's take this one, page 2 of the Punch. Security situation today better than 2015, says additional.
Let's take another story.
We should go to another one. Let's go to another one. Let's just go. Page 23 of the Vanguard newspaper. Stop stigmatization of mental health patients. Psychiatrist charges Nigerians.
Yeah, and we don't have the time. I was going to take this through and through. Unfortunately, we don't have the time. Please, can somebody keep it for me? We'll discuss this fully, maybe on Friday. Please remind me.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Because it's...
we got to go now.
We got to go, yes.
We got to go now. What's coming out now?
Yeah, I have somebody. We're going to talk about leadership.
Okay.
Leadership at all levels. But of course, it will trickle down to leadership in Nigeria.
Right.
We will keep at it. We will. It will not be that some of us didn't say anything when the time comes. But again, I'm going to call on our young people, please, take your future in your hands and do the right thing.
Thank you for coming. That's our show this morning. What a day. But, yeah. No, nothing. We're safe. I'm just rubbing my hand.
Why don't rub your hand?
See, it's very cold. It's just rubbing it.
Okay.
Did you see that video of that little girl that was flogged?
It was embarrassing. More embarrassing was the reaction of Muric.
Yeah?
Yes. The reaction of Muric was quite embarrassing. You, in one hand, you try to condemn what I condemn, not that she was caned.
Yeah.
I believe in caning.
Yeah.
But that was flogging. Mercilessly. That was merciless flogging.
That was violent.
Violent. And the music, must you respond to everything? It's becoming stock in trade for the music gentleman to always want to react to everything when some things are quite glaring. What happened in that video has nothing to do with Islam.
Mm-mm.
It has absolutely nothing to do with Islam.
That was extreme.
It just happened that it happened in a Quranic school.
That was extreme.
So there should have been little or no response from Murik. And let's taint everything with what happened there was irresponsible. But it happens every day. It happens with the mechanics.
That's right.
Beat with Fanbel,
Right.
It happens with some of our healing homes for the mentally whatever, part of what we're going to say. We're going to talk about in this story. Yes. One no way. Beat the man.
That's our show. We must go now. Thank you so much, Jimi, for coming.
All right.
I'm Sheriff Quadry. News is next. Morning to you.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.